Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to Live Q&A. Today is May 28th, 2018. And so if you have any questions, here's your chance to ask them. Now, today we're going to truncate it just a little bit short, maybe about 10 minutes earlier than normal because, well, I have to get on the airplane in a few hours and we're heading over to the UK Games Expo. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, I just realized that these doors are open and that's going to cause some serious echo, so I'm going to quick close these. But while I'm doing that, you can still hear me. If you have any questions, I'm alone in the studio. I got a kid or two with me, but hello. But I'm alone in the studio today because it's Memorial Day here in America. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. And so the guys all have off. So, that being said, let's get started with some questions. If there's anyone here, oh, it's mostly just people saying hi. If you have not gotten an email about the Dice Tower retreat and you had said you wanted to go, I sent out emails for that this morning. If you haven't got one and you were wanting to go, then that means you missed some important information. So I'm going to need you to email that to me as soon as you can. So what am I looking forward to at the UK Games Expo? I guess I'm looking forward to meeting people. I don't have any particular games that I'm looking forward to. I'm sure there's some games there that I haven't seen or heard that I would be excited to have seen, but there's nothing that I heard, hey, it's going to be there. So maybe I haven't been paying close enough attention, but I'm sure there will be some games released there for sure. Let's see here. What does Memorial Day entail? You mean what do people do on Memorial Day? A lot of people have off from work. My family, some of them are going on a little picnic. They're going to go fly kites for a while. Some things like that. Nothing major usually. Most people have picnics at the most. Have you ever played games like Canasta or Bridge? I've not played Canasta. I played Bridge once. Never want to play it again. So if you mean regular, this is like another question I should stick in the FAQ. I get asked it a lot. My favorite is Hearts of those games. What is Memorial Day? Okay, so people are asking what it is. So to clarify, Memorial Day is a day in which, in America, we remember those who have lost their lives in service of their country in various ways. And we just so remember those who sacrificed. When will you guys post another top 10 list with Sam and Z? I'm not sure. I hope to have one done next week. We've just been extremely busy, a lot of different things, a lot of conventions, so haven't been able to get all three of us together. But all three of us did get together and record a lot of Miami Dice stuff, which is going to go up this week. So you're going to see 4 Miami Dice reviews where we go back and forth. So hopefully you will enjoy those. And me, Z, and Dave Luzo will be recording a top 10 live at the UK Games Expo. So if you're there, you can come watch it. We're going to do top 10 games that we like, but we're really bad at. So we have that coming. And let's see. And then if we have a chance, we'll record one next week, but it's going to be tricky because it's the weeks between UK Games Expo and Origins. We're definitely going to be recording one live at Dice Tower Con, so there's that coming up too. Again, this is one of those things I think that sometimes people don't understand, that we put a lot of effort into everything we do, and to record and edit stuff is a lot of work. To record and edit a top 10 is an immense amount of work, more than any other maybe 4 or 5 videos put together. So I know people are like, oh, I wish you did those all the time. We wish we did them all the time, but there's a lot of effort into that. There's also a finite number of top 10 lists, so we have to be careful. If we're doing them all the time, that what you would consider magic is not going to be there because we're going to be exhausted from doing them all the time too. So we have to be careful that we don't do them too often. Do you play any collectible card games? Not currently. I mean, I have played collectible card games, but I play Dice Masters, which is a collectible dice game. Have you ever ended up inadvertently buying a counterfeit game? I do not believe so. At least not in the board game arena. I think I bought a video game that was counterfeit off the eBay one time or something like that. But I never bought one. I never bought a board game. But I don't buy a ton of games from Amazon, so that's where most of the counterfeiting is coming from. Let's see. How close was Jurassic Park Danger to getting a seal of approval? Well, it didn't get one. I mean, I think it's fine for some people. Have you scheduled a live event at Gen Con this year? If so, which day? Yes, there is a live event. You can go register for it now. It is Friday at 2 o'clock. I probably should push that more. We'll tweet out in Facebook that soon. I think half the tickets have sold, or more than half have sold, I think, but there's still plenty of seats left for that. Have you ever dented your table smashing game components? No. These are very strong, sturdy tables. Oh, no, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I understand people like the top 10s, and I'm very glad for that. But it's kind of like ice cream. You can have too much of a good thing here. So we have to be very cautious. And I always want to clarify. But like, you haven't done a top 10. We're angry about that. We get that sometimes. It's like, all right. We want to get these out there as fast as we can. But they are an immense amount of work. This has been such a month. So I went to, this is my, let's see. We went to CMON, I went to Geekway, I did the Homeschool convention, and now I'm going to UK Games Expo, boom, 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 like that. So I've barely had time to breathe here. The Homeschool convention was extremely excruciating because it was a 5 hours on the first day, then 10 hours, and then 9 hours, and that's straight. And so me and Mele, I was like, oh yeah, we got this, we can do this. And I realized that to do something for 10 hours straight, to just constantly be talking to people and say, hey, I'm a video reviewer and I talk about board games online, and there's a lot of great games out there. They're educational games that are really awful games. They're good. You know, I had this whole pitch and I did it over and over and over again. And after 10 hours, you're like, oh, standing for 10 hours straight. It was a bit, it was fun, but yeah, my legs are still tired and I'm still exhausted from that trip. So maybe that will help me sleep on the long plane flight tonight. Do you believe CMON is milking the Arcadia game cow with the new Arcadia Quest in space? You mean Starcadia? Well, yes, on one instance, because why not? I mean, but if it's fun, also, why not? I'm looking forward to it. I like space. I like the idea of this theme. That sounds fun to me. Do you say CMON or Cool Mini or Not? Well, I guess we're supposed to say CMON because Cool Mini or Not is the website and they're trying to differentiate from that. I don't know. I still think they should have called themselves Come On. Are you excited that BGG is moving to a bigger space in downtown Dallas next year? Will you all be there? Well, I'm very pleased for them. I think it's going to be a fantastic time. Will we be there? Probably not. Between me going to PAX and running the Dice Tower Retreat, that's going to be a little bit of a tough month, although I'm doing a bunch of conventions now. But at some point, we're going to have to take some time. Oh my, the response for the Dice Tower Retreat has been exceptionally high. Any place you're looking forward to eating in at in Orlando? I'm not going to Orlando right now, but I'm assuming you're talking about Dice Tower Con. No, I mean, yeah, I'm eating at the Polynesian resort restaurant, which is amazing. We eat there every year, and that's my favorite eating experience of the entire year. So yes, I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, though, no, I'm more excited about the people we're meeting. Have you met the guys from Shut Up and Sit Down? Oh, multiple times. Still haven't played a game with them yet, have I? Why didn't I? At the Gathering friend Sam played a game with them, but I didn't have a chance to do it. How do you think the podcast Dice Tower Tonight host mixing is going? I personally like the variety. I'm glad you are. Again, I know that some people watch Dice Tower because of me, and some people watch what I'm not in because they can't stand me, and that's fine. But the Dice Tower should never be me, and so I am doing my best to make the Dice Tower as many different people as possible. And I'm so pleased that I wasn't able to make Dice Tower tonight, and then Eric wasn't able to make. I'm not pleased about that, but I mean, and then Ambi and Crystal stepped right up, and you people, it was still a great show. You know what I mean? It's not everything. It's not all about me, and should never be all about me. What were you promoting at the homeschool convention? Oh, we were just promoting ourselves. I was basically showing off our channel. We brought in a bunch of games that were educational and fun, and we just kept playing them over and over again. And Cool Stuff was there with us, and so you could buy the games from them if you wanted to. The game that we played the most, there are 2 games that were played the most, were Onitama, played over and over and over and over again, and Drop It. Onitama and Drop It were almost never not being played. Also, we set up Cytosis, which for, oh my goodness, just people looking at Cytosis, they're like, I think I will buy it. I was like, and I will explain this. And they're like, no, no need. Photosynthesis did really well. I showed off a demo game of Exit, and then people were really enjoying that. We showed off Zendo, Fear, Timeline. In fact, I stopped showing off Timeline after the first day because Cool Stuff sold out of it, and I mean, people they played it and they instantly bought it. Timeline, it was that popular. So yeah, it was really fun just for us to show these games off, and people were like, wow, these are pretty neat. There were a few people who came by and said, hey, we like the Dice Tower, hey, we like board games. There wasn't a ton. I would say maybe 1 out of 100 people knew who the Dice Tower was, and that's fine. And that's why we went, because I want to grow the audience. I want board gaming to be huge and big and exciting, you know. And there's even people who were gamers and didn't know who the Dice Tower was. A couple were like, well, we had some games you probably haven't heard of. We really like to play Eclipse. Have you heard of it? I was like, oh, well, what do you know? Another couple was like, one of the games that we really like is Sheriff of Nottingham. Do you know anything about that game? I was like, well, what do you know? You know, that sort of thing is fun for me. Which publisher has the most games in your collection? I don't know. I mean, Fantasy Flight and Simon probably have a lot because I do tend to like their games. Rio Grande probably has several, just because I have had so many games in theirs over the years. I really do have a large variety from different companies, though, that's for sure. What's the weirdest shaped game box you ever saw? There's a lot of weird ones. Oh, I just got one in the mail today. That's shaped like an egg. Well, the egg crate is probably the one. Today I got a milk carton, a game in a milk carton. Do you still have your Warhammer 40K miniatures because of nostalgic reasons, or did you get rid of them? Oh no, I traded them for board games back in the day. They were valuable. Many reviewers come and go. What's the secret to Dice Tower's longevity? For me, it's sheer willpower. It's always going to be something like that, you know, just because you eventually do get tired of doing things. I was recording this morning, and I recorded a lot of videos this morning to prepare for this week because I want you guys to have videos while I'm gone. And in between some of the takes, I was like, all right, you could do this, Vasel, you could do it. Come on. I'm pumping myself up because I'm a little tired from this whole homeschool convention. I'm just tired in general. And I don't want to wear myself out. And I'm also trying to hurry because I'm not leaving till later this afternoon. And as soon as I'm done with this live Q&A, we're packing up, going home. I have a few more odds and ends to do, but I just want to spend a few hours with my family before I get on the plane. And so I'm trying to, rush to get the work done as much as possible. And there's just a lot of stuff going on, but it's really fun. But the secret to longevity is just not give up. It's easy not to give up when times are going well, but when times are going tough, you can give up. Now, it gets easier to not give up the longer things go, but people give up on things. Even after long periods of time, you can give up. I don't have a problem giving up on something that I don't like doing, right? So if I start something, I'm like, I don't really like this. Then I give it up because it's not that big of a deal. But there are some things that I can't give up on, right? A relationship perhaps, or here, the Dice Tower, I could give it up if I wanted to, right? But I don't want to. And so even when I'm tired and not feeling it, I will do my best. Now, I do my best to recharge my batteries too. That helps out a lot, right? Like when I'm at church on Sundays and I go to church with my family and I'm involved at church, I am not even thinking about the Dice Tower at that point at all because that's a different focus. And by taking that focus out, don't get me wrong, with the Dice Tower, I'm working on it a lot, working hard on it all the time. But there are times where you're not to be working on it. Which of these games do you like more, Azul or Dragon Castle? Dragon Castle. Would you consider a brand new game for Dice Tower Essential? Sure, I would consider a brand new game for Dice Tower Essential, but how do I consider that? That's the tricky part. I won't take people just coming up to me and showing me their game because I don't have time for that. So the only way for you, if you have a brand new game and you think it's amazing and you think it should be a Dice Tower Essential, is to get someone else who knows me to play it, and then they will come and say, Tom, this game is amazing, and then I'll take a look at it. And you're like, that's not fair. You're right, it's not, but it's the only way I can do it. I just was speaking to a designer last week, who was asking me to look at a prototype, and I said, I don't look at prototypes, and it seems so rude to say that, but if we start looking at prototypes, that is all we will ever do. So I have to put a line in the sand. There are things I just don't do. Like, for example, massively multiplayer online games. They're fun. I know they're fun. They're great. I will not do them. Why won't I do them? Not because I don't like them, but because I don't have time for them. So I won't even look at the new ones. I won't even be like, I'll just play a little bit of this Star Wars one. No, because it will suck my time up. I know it will. And so same thing with prototypes. I have to put the same rules in place. Are there good to discuss rules, arguments, and cosmic encounter? I feel like every 4th or 5th game there's a game deciding rules discussion. Well, maybe not. I feel like the game, if you follow the rules, if you follow the, when cards can be played, it seems like most stuff works out for us. I've never had any major rules things. If we do, I guess we decide together as a group, but not that often, because again, you just look at the timing, when can this card be played. The rules, the cards are very specific on what turns they can be played, and when you put everything into place, it usually comes out pretty well. Do all reviewers for the Dice Tower contribute to the seal of approval and seal of excellence, or is it just those that are reviewed by yourself, Sam and Z? It's usually just me, Sam, and Z at this point. The other reviewers, it could be a seal of excellence and approval from them too. But we have recently raised those seals that they're harder for us to give them out, and I think that's done better for the brand overall. What's the most frustrating aspect of your job? Just that there's not enough time in a day to get everything done that I want. And I always feel like I'm doing a lot of, I always feel like I'm majoring a lot on minor things. So for example, like today, I worked hard on getting the Dice Tower Retreat email out to everybody. And that's just a lot of work for me to do that. And so while I'm doing that, I'm not playing games and reviewing games, things like that. Is it true that I lost my second game ever of Captain Sonar at the Geekway to the West? I did, but then I got my victory back. Yes, but I've lost twice now. I still feel pretty good about my odds. An untrained team. The first one was a training mission. But yeah. New sponsor, Mr. Maybe 79. Well, thank you. That's very nice of you to do so. Now that we got more sponsors, we'll be able to add more dice emojis in chat. So I'll get around to adding those maybe by next week. But if you look, you can see different dice emojis in chat that you can type in if you want to from different people. We had some new dice characters, like you can see Mandy's dice character there. We got some new ones added, Robert Geislinger, Rob Searing, and Derek Porter. I think all three of them have posted theirs online. You can see them. And the brothers Murph have one too, but I haven't seen them show it to anyone yet. If Asmodee is truly for sale, which companies will be able and interested in buying them? Who knows? Any company can buy any company, right? I don't always know. You'll hear about big companies buying others, and you're like, well, that's kind of a weird buyout. So I don't have any conjecture on that at all. I don't know. Are you going to do any more episodes of History to Dice Tower? Oh yeah, sure, probably. I think I have, 4 more before I catch up to this year. It's kind of weirder to do the ones that are closer, right? Because you're like, and then this year was the year we did this. I will talk about them, I'm sure. Maybe if I do the history of the dice, but again, things are interesting to look at in retrospect. So I'll probably do them. I'll probably go up to 2016 and stop. And I won't do 2017 for a while, and then I'll catch up maybe later on in the future. Although 2017 was a pretty critical year. It's when we moved into our studio. What's your favorite Rum and Bones expansion? Oh, there's a lot of them. I don't know. Although, coincidentally, Melody's sorting them out right now. After Melody, which of your kids is most interested in board games? Wow, it's a huge drop, actually. Probably Holly, maybe? If Prohibition was brought back, but it was sauce instead of booze, how harsh would the prison sentence have to be to stop you breaking it? I don't know what you mean by sauce. You mean like barbecue sauce? Or sauces you put on your foods, and they there was a prohibition that you couldn't put sauce in food? I'd be like, oh man, that's a terrible thing, but I guess I would just put spices on my food then. Life is what it is. I do love my sauces, but not enough to go to jail. You win the prize for the oddest question so far. Oh, Roy Canada, yeah. Roy Canada got a new dice guy too over the thing. Let's see. The dice characters are nice, but would you do a dice tower character? Well, we already have one, right? The one that's the King of Tokyo monster. Are you still a fan of Sentinels of the Multiverse? Yes. Do you consider it needlessly complex? No. Just wondering, based on your comment on Street Masters. No. I think Sentinels of the Multiverse was very straightforward. Again, I'm going to play Street Masters some more. There were so many decks of cards and so many different things going on that it kind of, for me, slowed down in the fighting aspect. It was kind of like, I will now punch somebody, and I don't know. Again, I'll have to play it some more. So I'm always really hesitant to talk about my first impressions of games anyway, because they might change, and I'm afraid then that people will take them as gospel truth. So just assume I haven't played the game yet. I get asked this a lot. Sonny says, what do I think about exclusives, and what do I think about putting game components and benefits behind exclusive one-time events? I'm not really thrilled about it. I don't think exclusives are really they don't interest me that much. It's like, ooh, I have something no one else has. But companies do it because it works. I can't tell you how many times I've read something where people said, hey, I'm not backing this project. Why should I? I'll just wait till it to come out. Because the Kickstarter crowd has been trained to expect exclusives, to expect that these things are going to happen. But at the same time, I guess I just don't care that much. If there's a game and it has all the cool stuff and all this great stuff exclusive, and I'm like, man, that's kind of dumb. But I don't get upset about it. I'm just like, all right, I guess I won't play that stuff then. I will instead play one of the many thousands of games that I can get. How do you protect your game tokens and board from getting damaged? Some archers, defensive catapults, and a wall. Any game you want a giant version of, like Azul. Flick 'em Up Giant Edition sounds like fun. Oh, that's great. I have the giant Flick 'em Up, actually. Azul, yeah, it's kind of like, oh wow, big version of Azul. That's pretty neat, but I don't know that I personally want it. I would want giant versions of lots of my games. Man, I love giant versions of games. Last year was the year of legacy games. No, it was not. I don't know why people keep saying that. I think there was like 2. You can't call 2 games a year of legacy games. It was what, Pandemic Legacy Season 2 and what was the other one? Oh, and Charterstone. That's 2. That's not the year of legacy games. I don't even think either one of those 2 are winning like the Game of the Year awards from a lot of companies. So, but yes, this year is definitely a year of roll and write games for sure. A lot of people are making those and playing those, and we just had a bunch show up in the mail. But that's okay. Even when I say there's a year of something, there's still a lot of things, a lot of other games that come out over the course of a year. And I have no idea what next year will bring. Last year was probably the year of escape room games. That would probably be a better thing with I think 6 exit games were released last year, 6 unlock games were released, the 3 more for the escape the rooms, and 2 deckscapes were released along with a new Game Right one. So that was a lot that came out, and also the Kickstarter Werewolf one. So that's a lot that came out last year. What exactly would you say you do here? Well, not much, really. Huh? Does the Dice Tower ever review free games? Well, I mean, assume. Oh, you mean print and play games? No, I don't. I just, again, I have to make limits to what we look at and review. And my thoughts have always been that if your game is not good enough for a publisher to publish it, then it's not good enough for me to look at it. And I know it's a generalization, and I know there's games that will meet that criteria, but we have to draw lines somewhere. Top 5 Dice Tower swag of all time. I don't know what you mean by that, like things that we have gotten at conventions. Last year we got Iron Brew out the wazoo. I did not mention that this year on purpose because I like Iron Brew, but we did not need, I think, the 20 liters of it that we got. Did you put the catapult in front or behind a wall you use to protect your tokens? Oh, definitely behind. One on top of a tower, though. It's very useful. Wow, there must not be as many people here today because I am caught up on questions. There's only 52 people watching. That's a much smaller amount than normal. That's because it's Memorial Day, isn't it? Well, had I known that, I could have not done a Q&A. We found, and this is always fascinating to me, that more people watch the Dice Tower at work than anywhere else. It's at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is when our videos drop. And they drop them for a reason, because everyone's at work. Eastern Standard Time, Central Standard Time, in America anyway. And that's just fascinating to me. So whenever there's a holiday, you would think, oh, a holiday, there might be more people watching because they're at home and they'll be able to watch. Nope, it's when people are at work. Do you think that recently your rate of approval in your videos slightly dropped? Oh, sure it did, because we changed it. We said that the seal of approval was going to be 7 or higher now instead of 6 and higher. And that made a big difference. I mean, I'm still rating games the same way I would rate them before. I would say this is a 6, this is a 6. But now I'm saying it's a 6, which is okay, I liked it, but it doesn't get a seal of approval. And so you're seeing less go out. What's going to be the big surprise of Gen Con? I don't know. I have some ideas, but I don't know. Interestingly enough, Fantasy Flight Games is doing their big show, their flight report. They're doing it Wednesday night rather than Thursday or Friday this year, which is a very different change. For swag, I meant the stuff the Dice Tower has produced with its logo. Oh, the best swag that we have ever had. I'll discount promos here because the promos are probably the best things we've done. But the Dice Towers, we've had some really cool Dice Towers, dice mats. The poker chips have always been popular, dice, and the card holders. But I got something new. Not new, something slightly different that's coming. Those are in the mail. I should get them in a few weeks, and I'll be having those at Origins. Getting my stuff together for Origins now. In fact, while I'm talking, Melody's packing a bag of promos and stuff to take with us to UK Games Expo. Hopefully some people will get some of that stuff there so I don't have to bring it all back with me. Is there any game you've never lost at? No. Oh, some people see 200 people watching. Well, that's nice. Let's see. Do you think if someone does not ally in Rising Sun, they have a chance to win while others take advantage of being allies? Would that make odd number of players less fun? Well, you can watch our game of Rising Sun. We played a 3-player game where one person was not the ally the whole time. We did a live play of that, and you can see how that turned out. And I thought it was a pretty fair game. Yeah, sure, it's not fun to be the odd person out, I guess maybe in a 5-player game, but I'm not too worried about it either. In fact, we played a 4-player game where there were 2 odd people out because 2 people refused to ally with each other because we were stubborn. I was with Jason and I said, Jason, I will ally with you, but you got to give me a coin. He's like, I'm not giving you a coin. I was like, listen. He's like, we'll lose if we don't ally together. I'm like, well, listen, just ally with me. All is a coin. He's like, no, you get me a coin. So we went on this for a while. So we didn't ally over a measly coin. Dice Tower reduces productivity at work. Yeah, that's probably true. You're just bragging because your work is playing games, talking about games. Well, that's part of my work. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes than that. Can you already share the hotel rate per night for the retreat? I apologize, I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I'm waiting for the hotel to get me that information. I will be sending that out once I have that information. I know about the seals, but I was talking about you were recently reviewing more games that you don't like recently. Well, no, I think it's because you're watching in May. This always happens in May. Historically, because when there's a convention and it comes, there's the 2 biggest influxes of games we get over the course of the year are Essen and post-Essen, because that leads up to Christmas, and summer, which starts right a little bit after Origins and goes all the way up to August. So there's all these new games that come in, huge amounts. We come home from Gen Con with 100 games and come home from Essen with 300 games. You know, and so when we get all these games, we're like, ooh, that looks fun, that looks fun, that looks fun, that looks fun. We play all these games. Well, then as the time goes by, we run out of those games. So now we are in there's still fun games, don't get me wrong, but when I look over at these games over here, I'm like, there's a lot of games there that don't look that interesting, right? But, well, we'll try them out. And when it happens, you end up playing more games you don't like. So always during this time frame, you'll see fewer games that we'll play more games we don't like. It's just the nature of the beast. How has 2018 looked to you so far in terms of new releases? This is a question that's never good to ask until after Gen Con, honestly, because I never really know until after Gen Con. There's been some great games already released this year. Okay, well, let's actually do a search here on Board Game Geek. So let's look at, I don't want to tip my hand usually too much, but well, in 2018 here is not, I'm using 2018 to search. But, well, we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to look at 2018 games. I don't want to tip my hand too much for my top 10 at the end of the year, but we'll see. So far this year, I have really liked Rising Sun a lot. I mean, extremely well. In fact, Rising Sun made my top 100 last year, but because I had played it last year, but technically it's released this year. So Rising Sun's the biggest game that's come out this year. Grim Forest was a pretty solid game. Stuffed Fables was a fantastic kid game. Now, I'm skipping a lot of games that I think are decent, okay, or good games. I'm just talking about the ones I think are like superb. Thunderstone Quest, I think, was superb. Decrypto was an amazingly good party game. Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea, I really enjoyed that one. Space. I will review this week, and you'll see if I like it or not. Yeah, those are like the ones I think that are like the coolest. I think there's a lot of great games. There's a lot of fun games that come out. Shards of Infinity, Crystal Clans. There's a lot of games I like that I'm seeing here, but not. I'm talking about the ones that I think would make my top 10. But see, that's the thing. Every year the same thing happens. Every year I go through this, and it's like, oh, and people are like, oh, this year doesn't look so great because most games are released at Gen Con and Essen. That's why. Once a game is given a seal of approval, do the publishers apply to you to print it on the game box? They email me and ask me, and I say, sure. There's no application needed. If I give your game a seal of approval, you gladly can put it in the game box. I usually ask people. It's nice when they ask. I don't know that anyone's ever put it on without asking. It's probably happened. But we have a nicer version of it that they can use when that happens. I heard about the passing of Total Biscuit. I know he was a large fan of the Dice Tower. Was he? I don't know that he ever emailed me. I'm looking now to see if he ever emailed me or said anything to me. His name is John Bain. No. Well, maybe he was a fan, but I wouldn't have known it. Sorry. Does Mele get paid? Also, the title on Twitch is wrong. Well, I'm not streaming on Twitch, I don't believe. Am I streaming on Twitch? I don't mean to be streaming on Twitch if I am. If I am, so be it. Am I streaming on Twitch? I better get over here and look. I am on Twitch. Well, I didn't know that. I must have accidentally streamed on Twitch. That means that I've been streaming on Twitch. Huh. Well, there you go. Did not know that. Hello, Twitch people. All right. Anyway, does Mele get paid? Yes, she does. Also, I'm pretty sure she's going to college this year, so yes, she's getting paid. Have you figured out the top 10 you're doing at this year's Dice Tower convention? Oh yeah, we're doing top 10 overrated games, or top 5 overrated games, actually. Can you tell us what you'll be recording at the convention? No, I don't know what we're recording at the convention yet, sorry. But if you're there, you'll get to see a lot of things. The event schedule is going to go up today or this week of all the different events going up. Did you finish the Oathbringer book? No, man. These books are long, right? Yeah, this convention was a long convention. I guess I started Oathbringer last time I did a Q&A, right? I'm still reading it. I read it a bit, but I was so tired I kept falling asleep. I'll try to read some of it on the airplane flight today, and I'll read a bit of it as much as I can, but I'm still tired, folks. I apologize. So I'll get to Oathbringer as time goes by. Actually, I don't have a book. I don't have another series lined up after that, so I need to get cranking on that. How's Rise of Queensdale so far? Well, we'll be putting our full review of it, but probably a little bit after Gen Con. So far, we have played 4 games of it. So we'll talk more about it. I want to get some more plays of it under our belt first. I can't tell you much about the game, but I can tell you who is currently in first place. Of course, that could change in the next game very easily. Probably will. You talked about the new version of Cosmic Counter. Do you think you'll be adding a copy to your collection? I don't know. I'm going to have to look at it first. I'll look at someone else's copy before I get a copy. They might send me one, so then if that's the case, I'll review it. But the translucent chip sounds cool, but I have painted chips, which are amazing. And so the cards that say, here's groups of aliens you should use, thanks. The whole point of Cosmic is to play with random aliens and see how they work together. And what's the other thing? They added the demon, but I already have the demon guy, so there's that. But that's okay. I mean, it's not the end of the world. They're just different characters. I didn't even really like the demon character that much anyway. It's okay. Do you ever experience convention overload going to as many conventions as Dice Tower does? Oh, probably. I'm still excited to go to them. Don't get me wrong. It's fun for me to go to them. This year I will go to more than I've ever gone to in a year before, so we'll see how we are. I'm feeling a little, like I'm excited to be going to the UK Games Expo a lot, but you're right. I am a little tired, and we get back and I flip around and go to Origins, then we flip around and go to Dice Tower Con, then we flip around and go to Gen Con, and then I pause. And then I go to Iceland. I don't know if this has been announced yet officially, but due to various things that are going on, the Geek and Sun camp was canceled that I was going to in Poland. So sorry if you were planning to go to that. So that's not happening anymore. And I am planning to I'm going to Iceland instead. Sam's not able to make the Iceland trip, so me and Z will be going to Iceland in September. Hope to see some of you there. Is there any update to the Dice Tower Kickstarter? Well, I mean, once we have everything together, I've been getting a lot of emails from people about this, and I should probably post an update soon where I apologize that a lot of people are like, well, where's our stuff? And it does say September on the things, and I guess people just got confused or something. But I mean, I work on it every week, getting this stuff. We're still waiting on a few of the things. I'm picking up one of the things at Origins. We're still waiting on some of the different promos to come in and such, but we should have everything for that very soon, and I definitely plan to have it shipped before September, but September was the date that I put on the Kickstarter. Who's my favorite publisher? Personal favorite. You mean like as a friend? Because I can tell you who's not. SB. Can you say hi, Joanna? She'd really like it. No, probably not. How about a top 10 games that can be played outside? That's an interesting idea. We might do that sometime. Bunny Kingdom needs an expansion. It does not. No. I mean, don't get me wrong, if it has an expansion, I'd be, let's see what that expansion's all about. It does not need an expansion. I'd say there's a lot of great games that do not need expansions. I like expansions, don't get me wrong. I think some games kind of tilt towards them, but Bunny Kingdom is a great, self-contained, excellent game with a humongous pile of drafting cards. It doesn't need an expansion. It would just be more scoring cards, I guess, or maybe they try to make the game go in a different direction. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe an expansion would be like, wow, this is amazing. But the game is really fine as is. I really like it. Can you talk about the finances of a board game? For example, if I buy a game for $50, how much of that goes to the designer, publisher, etc.? Well, I can't tell you exact numbers because they're going to be different for everybody else. But usually a store will buy the game from a distributor at, I want to say it's either 50 or 60% of the price you pay. That's usually what happens, right? So if you see someone selling a game for 25% off or so, that means they're making 25% more, or maybe it might be 60%, but it all depends on the companies, right? So then the distributor is taking a cut too. So let's say a $50 game, probably the publisher is selling that game for $20 to the distributor, who then sells that game to the stores, who then sell that game to you. So of that $20, usually most designers get 5% or so. So a designer might get one of those $20, and then the artist is usually paid not a percentage, but they have a certain amount, so they might get another $1. So then you're down to $18, right? And then the publisher has paid money to get that game made. So let's say they paid $8 to get that made, so there's $12, so they're getting $10 per game, which has to go into a lot of other things. So there's not a whole lot of money going around from the sale of one game. Have I ever met Rado in person? Sure, and I think I'm going to meet him in person again this week at UK Games Expo if we run into each other. Who is more likely to try a new unknown food? You, Sam, Z, or Jason? Me or Jason, probably. There were some games in the Spiel des Jahres and Counterspiel nominations that you felt weren't the best choices. What games would you have nominated instead? I'm always very cautious on this because the nominations are done in Germany, and they're German game awards. So while I might say, I don't know if I would have picked that, I don't know all the games that are available in Germany, and a game I might think is fantastic. Like, I think, this is a personal thing, I think that the jury totally did an oversight on Century Spice Road. And I know some of the members of the jury did not like the game at all. But that's craziness, because that game is amazing, and I think it's fun, and everyone I've taught it to, I think it's like the perfect opinion. But that's just a difference of opinion. But that game might not have done as well in Germany. I don't know all the numbers and things to see. So, I might disagree with them, but I think everyone's going to disagree with everybody on the different choices that they make. But, I don't know that I have like a list of these are games that make a better one. Although someday I may do such a thing. I could be yawning here. Not so good. Your top 10 2018 expected games were Queensdale, Fireball Island, Epoch: The Awakening, Betrayal Legacy, Root, Founders of Gloomhaven, Master of the Galaxy, Alone, Dice Hospital, and Western Legends. Oh, that wasn't a question. That was just a listing. Okay, so far I've played Fireball Island, which I was very happy with, Queensdale, and that's it. I haven't played, and Western Legends, which I really liked also. So far, the 3 that I've played, I've enjoyed, that I've, of those 10. So I expect to play all those, hopefully, before the year is over. That's a good list. That's the thing that we do sometimes. I'm like, man, that's a top 10 list I would make. And the answer is, you already did make it. Are there any genre of games that you're still looking for reviewers for the Dice Tower? Well, maybe a war game or two, but I'm not necessarily hunting down reviewers for the Dice Tower right now. Do you know which nights at Dice Tower Con you guys are going to be doing the game show? Yeah, that's going to be Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be the Magical Athlete game show. Thursday is going to be the Dice Tower Awards. Friday is going to be the auction and the top 10. And Saturday there's a couple other shows that are going on there. Name of the Wind, I've already read Name of the Wind. Would you prefer using a neoprene mat on top of a normal table, or just play games on top of the bare table? Neoprene mat, I probably like that a little better. How's the Dice Tower doing so far this year? Well, that is up to you guys. I feel like we're doing okay, but we'll find out when we hear from you guys. Tom, you travel a lot for work, but with all your experience traveling, where would you decide to go for vacation only? Me and my fiance are looking for ideas. Okay, well, that all depends what you're trying to do, right? So my wife and my 20th anniversary is coming up next year. So I'm thinking, hey, we're going to go do something. So I have some options. We can go on a cruise without kids. That would be fun. So that's an option. That's a really great vacation. Malaysia is my favorite country on earth to go to and travel and visit. That's a far place to go, but that would be a lot of fun to do. But also a place I've never been to before, right? That's something I'm always interested to go see something new. In your recent Dice Tower podcast, you mentioned every publisher uses, excepting Kickstarter, uses a distributor. What exactly do they do? Is it not possible for the larger ones to do it themselves? Sure. Not every publisher uses a distributor. Some publishers do not. And some publishers, more publishers, are going away from using distributors actually these days for whatever reasons. But a distributor there's a distributor will have several distribution centers all over America. So let's say GTS, a distributor. They got one in Atlanta, and I think they have 10 total. I might be wrong. They might have fewer or more. But they have these distribution places all over America. So when you published 10,000 games or whatever, you don't want to send those games out to the stores on your own and have the stores order from you. You send them to the distributors, and then the distributors, they will go to the stores and say, here's a list of all the games we have. The stores say, these are the games we want, and the distributor sends those games to the people. Distributors also are supposed to help support and promote your games and tell people these are new games that are in stock and all. But the distributor will carry your game, and then stores will look at the distributor's sell sheets and pick which games they want. But they handle all that logistics for you, so you only have to get the games from the manufacturer to the distributor, or if you're using multiple distributors, to the different distributors. So this distributor wants this many, this one wants this many. You will probably get a certain number in-house yourself. And I think, if you go to Malaysia, hop over to Singapore, please. Oh, sure. Which parts of Malaysia do you particularly enjoy? I've been to Penang multiple times. I've been to Penang. My favorite thing with distributors is, distributors, I'm mixing my questions here. With Malaysia was, I like KL the best, I think. Penang is great, don't get me wrong. Oh, it was amazing. But KL, I just like the mix of the technology. You see the towers, and then there's jungle, and you can go places. We went to this amusement park that was on top of a mountain. It was like a casino on top of this mountain in Malaysia. And so there's this roller coaster that me and Mele went on that was really fun. It was a small roller coaster. It wasn't like this amazing roller coaster. But because it was on top of a mountain and you come down that hill and you're like, oh my, it was pretty exciting. So that's my favorite place. All right. That is it for today, folks. I know it's only 10:50, but we're ending a little bit early because, again, I need to get one more thing done, then go home. And so that's that. But I will be looking at some random words that you type here.
Arg, matey. I'm here today. Psst. Kill the beast!
That was a new recruit. You can't be killing new beasts like that.
I'm hungry for some Malay food. And then me and my friends are going to an escape room. What's an escape room? An escape room is where you get locked into a dungeon and then you try to get out. That makes no sense at all. I can't feel my legs. What? Because of the food I ate.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
Yes.
Is this where the escape room is?
No.
What? You just told me. Shut up.
Wait a minute, but you just shut up.
I wanna come. What are you guys talking about?
Fine. We're going to an escape room. Do you want to come? I still don't understand this escape room thing. Why would you deliberately get yourself thrown into a dungeon? I do my best to get out of dungeons.
Okay, well, now that he's dead, do you just kill people like that? Wasn't he your friend?
Well, yeah, but I can probably make more friends. I am here looking for Bobby. But he just went out the back door. What?
Okay, you seriously cannot be killing people all the time. Okay, I can't handle this. You cannot just kill every single person that walks in here. What if the next person is a platypus?
Oh, I fought a platypus one time. It was covered with ticks. Then those ticks got on me.
Can we go to the escape room?
All right, let's go to the escape room. All right, guys, here we are. We're stuck in this escape room. We're trying to figure out how to get out. Yeah, I don't know how to get out. What are we going to do here? Well, we should look for clues. There's bare walls. What about this hole in the floor? I'm pretty sure that's the privy. Well, we have 1 hour to get out of this room. Once we get out of this room, we'll be free. Yay! Quick question, though. Yes. Why is there like no puzzles? And you said 1 hour an hour ago and nothing's happened. Fools. Hey, hey. Can you give us a clue? Because we're kind of stuck here right now. Fools. Fools. Okay, we got that the first time you said it. This was just a trap. This is not an escape room. You're actually in a dungeon. Ha 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 ha. Man, I knew I shouldn't come on account of those free beer nuts you were offering me. And you offered me some Jackson ice cream. Well, listen, that's not the point. The point is we're here. Can we go through the privy hall? I don't know. Let's see if I can lift it up. A secret passageway. Where does a secret passageway lead? You first. Where did they go?